Hello, hello. Welcome, guys. It's game time. How we doing? What's going on? Well, it's an hour and 15 minutes till game time, but it's almost game time. And we're back finally. Good lord. Pre-match. Here we go. There's certainly some news coming. Joshua Zirkzee set to get his first start of the season tonight. And Matheus Cunha will not be making it to the game today. Okay? So unfortunately, Cunha is not going to make it, but Zirkzee will be starting. Huge, huge, huge opportunity for Big Josh. I really hope he can take this opportunity with both hands, because I've been saying since 2 weeks ago, since the last time we played, which was ages ago, I want to see Zirkzee. This is a chance. This is a chance for Joshua Zirkzee to make an impact on this team, to show up, to arrive, to be here. And I think he can. So it'll likely be anyway. It'll likely be a big opportunity for him. It looks like it's going to be Zirkzee, Mount, and Mbeumo who are playing. I think we'll find out in like a minute here, but I think that going to be an interesting lineup here in a few minutes. But I'm so excited. I'm so excited that we're finally back. And it's funny, because it's been a while and we've been talking about every time we're unhappy with the lineup, we go and we win. I do have a feeling people are going to be a bit unhappy with certain things that have happened today. A couple of decisions, unfortunately, but myself probably included. But we're going to have to see what happens. Like I say always, we're going to save our pain for later. We're going to save our complaining for if it doesn't work out. Have I seen the João Gomez story? Is it their own? In follow-up to the last one? Let's see, it says intensifies conversations per João Gomez. Is it their own information or not? Is it a good source? That's a question. Gallo starts for sure. Doesn't he always? Doesn't he always? Doesn't he always? Yeah, it's another Brazilian source saying that this is another Brazilian source saying that Gomez is it's coming. Another one. So it looks like there might be something really in this. There might actually be something in this. Does it mean no Ahmad at wingback? Well, we're gonna find out in about 2 minutes, aren't you? How the hell are you up? What do you mean? It's like noon on a Monday for me. It's noon on a Monday for me. Yeah, apparently Cunha's head injuries just means he's not going to make it to the game. Your like and sub poll? Yeah, good point. Let me set this up before the stream starts. Though I will say it doesn't matter as much if you guys like this one, because no one's going to watch the pre-match show. No one's going to watch the pre-match show later on, you know what I mean? Probably anyway. Hold on one second. No, 5 a.m. will be next Sunday, on Sunday. Only Americans call it noon. Us non-Americans call it afternoon. Well, it's not even afternoon. It's 11:45 here, so it's pre-noon. Pre-noon. It's pre-noon at the moment. It's basically noon. Then it'll be afternoon in a second here. All right, let's see. Lineup coming now, and then I'll pull it up on the screen. We're like seconds away from the lineup. Let's see. But yeah, there's some oddities today, and it's unfortunate about Cunha missing it. I'm wondering how the dynamic changing of Mount, well, probably Mount, Xerxes, and Mbeumo will be. If that is the front three, that's a lot of midfield support, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately. Fortunately, it is, but at the same time, it's a bit crazy. So, no, look, Ahmad is playing, guys. Ahmad's playing. He's playing, I believe, in the front three, and Dallow's been dropped. So, look, guys, the lineup is a lot more normal than you think it is. I was just teasing people. I'm just teasing. I just like to tease. Okay. No. Let's pull the lineup up. It's a pretty ordinary lineup. Yeah. It's a pretty ordinary lineup. Here we go. All right. This is it, I believe. Did I miss something? This is it, I believe. This is it, I believe. Did I miss something?
For that, do you wipe standing or sitting down?
Do you what on earth? Thanks, Matt, for being a member of the community for such a long time. It depends. It depends on how much wiping is involved. You know what I mean? Like, it really depends on the type of. You know what I'm saying? Like it's got to depend on the type of. So let's see. Yoro, Delict, Shaw, Mazraoui, Casemiro, Bruno, Dorgu, Ahmad, and Mbeumo, and Xerxes. Yeah. So this is what we're expecting. It's not as bad with Mazraoui on the right because we have Dorgu on the left, who is very, very good at going forward. He's not a defender-first player, in my opinion, at all. So, yes, I don't love Ahmad being in the front three instead of out wide. I don't love it. I don't. And I wish we would just go for it and play, Ahmad out wide with Dorgu. But we are still being like, this is not defensive. There's no Dallo. Dallow's been dropped. So there's no Dallo. So it is a little more attacking. There is one more factor. There is another factor in this, okay? Is that with Xerxes being at the 9, we have to think about this a little bit. With Xerxes being at the 9, we need some pace. This is better today. This is better, in my opinion, to be Ahmad than it is to be Mount. Because if you do it with Mount, it's just going to look like this. And it's going to be very, very centrally. There's not going to be enough pace in the back line. There's not going to be enough pace in the back line, in the front line, to push against them. You're going to have two guys in Xerxes and Mount who are doing the same job. That's why I believe this lineup has been selected. With this, Ahmad drops, but Ahmad also has the pace to get up and behind and things like that at all. I think it makes sense today because we lack pace up front. I think if Cunha was fit and could play, we might have seen Cunha and then Ahmad out wide. But because we don't have Cunha, I don't think it makes sense. It could even be Xerxes on the 10 and Mbeumo up on the 9s. But I just think we're going to need a little bit more pace. But the way it was described to me was kind of set up like this. Anyway, this is how I see it as well. There is as well one more factor in this. You have to look at the bench and understand, of course, Ruben Amorim and the way that he approaches everything. God, why is the website? My phone's just. I don't know if it's Twitter or. There it is. The other factor here is let's say you started Mount up top and you put Ahmad out wide, right? If you put Mount up top and Ahmad out wide for this game, you do have to realize one thing. We have no attacking subs. Our only attacking sub would be Shea Lacey. That's it. He would be our only attacking sub. That's the only one. He's the only attacker on the bench if Mount was on this team right now. He's the only one. And we know how Ruben thinks. You know what I mean? He has said many times that he likes to have the ability to have a strong team when he makes subs, that the team can even get stronger, that you can make some additions and things like that too. He doesn't like having a weak team when he doesn't like having a weak team when you start to make subs. He doesn't. So I would always prefer to see Ahmad out wide. Always. You're correct, TB. I always would prefer, but I understand it a bit more for this game because Xerxes and Mount is a weird front three to me. It makes for a bad combo there. I don't think Xerxes and Mount is a good combo. I think they're both just going to sit in the midfield if you do that, and there's no running on that. This gives you a lot more danger in that respect. So if you start Mount and you put Ahmad here, then you have no attacking subs. None. To change the game. At least you can move Mount onto the pitch now if you need to and push Ahmad out wide to go more attacking later on. That's how I would look at it. But at the same time, I'm always also believe that Dorgu is a more attacking player than Dallo. I know people think he's not because he's not been great attacking, but he is, by the numbers, a much higher volume attacking wingback than most of our other players. He just is. Like if you look at, let me pull up. Oh God, man, why can't I get webs? Internet is just being a dick today. Hold on. If you pull up his numbers on the stats, let's see. Here. If you look at it in most things, he gets more crosses and he gets more in there. He just also is a good defender. He's just better at everything. You know what I mean? But he's not like a low volume attacker. He's hitting a lot of crosses. He's getting into attacking positions. He's smacking the ball up quite a lot. So I'm okay. I think Dorgu is a much more attacking wingback than Dallo is. So if it was Dallo and Mazraoui, I'd be really pissed right now. The fact that it's Dorgu and Mazraoui is about half. Dorgu is closer to Ahmad than he is to Dallo in terms of intent. I'm not talking about his execution or anything like that. I'm talking about, he's played as winger on a number of occasions. He plays as winger. When we signed him, he played half his time at winger. He is a wingback. He is a wingback. There's been a recent thing about he'd be great as a left back and a back four. Well, maybe, but that's only because right now his attacking quality isn't as good and he happens to be quite a decent defender, but he is a winger. I mean, he scored goals the last 2 times out for Denmark, hasn't he? Or the last 2 international break. He's getting into attacking positions. He's doing things that are attacking. So it's good. In that respect, I'm quite happy with it. So anyway, look, I do think that Dorgu is an attacker. I do think that he's an attacker. He needs to get it together. You know what I'm saying? He needs to get it together. I agree that Dorgu needs to improve on his attacking output in terms of the execution. But he is an attacker. He very strongly, leans to the attack more often than not. That he does. So I'm good with that. Lisandro on the bench, Shea Lacey on the bench, Menu on the bench, Mount on the bench. We've got plenty of players that can come on and change the game. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy with this. With everybody that's missing, about the only thing I could think of is to swap Ahmad or Mazraoui and Mount and swap them. That's all I can really think of. So if I have one change from the team, I'm happy. That's a win to me. One departure from the team is a win to me. One departure from what I'd like to see. I'm very, very happy with that. And we just have a ton of good quality on the pitch. Xerxes starting is great. All that is great. You know, I'm going to show you guys something because let me ask you a question. Let me ask you guys a question. Is Njai an attacker? Is Njai an attacker? What do you guys think? Is he an attacker or is he a defender? Let me ask you guys that opinion. Is Njai an attacker or a defender? That's my question. Because I've been having this debate recently with people. Is Njai an attacker or a defender? That's my question for you for people. He's an attacker, right? Would you say that Njai is an attacker? Yeah, he's an attacker, right? Cool. Yeah, of course. Okay. This is Njai's heat map. Okay, this is where he plays. Okay, this is Dorgu's. Is Dorgu an attacker or a defender? What do you think? I think the answer is pretty damn clear. They're basically the same thing. There's no difference. Positionally, where they do their work, all of that. The only difference here is the initial formation. There's no difference. In fact, Dorgu might spend more time in the opposition half by percentage than Njai. It's quite possible. So, you know, when people ask, is he an attacker? Is he a this or that? It doesn't matter. He's an attacker. They're the same. Different players, different systems. I agree, but they're the same. Put Dalot and Mazraoui in. I would guess that most of our wingbacks have a bit more of a forward heat map, even including Dalot. But you can see Dalot's is very sporadic in that respect. It's a little less focused. He has his attacking on the right. He's really bad at it. Let's see Mazraoui. Mazraoui, I feel as though he plays a lot at center back too. So you can see it's not as attacking focused as well. So Dorgu does go forward more than both of them as it is presently. Here's Ahmad's. By the way, see? It's identical. There's no difference. Our wingbacks are the same as wingers in a team that plays a slightly more defensive system. You know, that's just what they are. So Dorgu is certainly more attacking, certainly a more attacking player than the others, and at least as attacking as a traditional winger. Certainly. With Mazraoui positions with this, yeah. Look, I agree with that. With Mazraoui, I don't like him at wingback because of his position. With Dorgu, he's got to ramp up that attacking quality, but I'm fine with where he plays. I'm fine with where he plays for sure. It's and how his intent and things like that. It's for me, it's all for me with Dorgu. It's just all about getting that final ball right, sorting it out. That's just where he needs to improve. You know what I mean? Here's Dorgu for Denmark, by the way. I mean, this is a winger. This is a winger. He is a winger. I mean, he is a winger. It's just a fact. Like he's a winger. That's where he is. That's where he plays. You know. Here he was for it's Serie A. So on the left, it's funny. He played as in the back four. They put him on the left back, and then he played as a right winger the other times before we bought him. In that last season. So he's very mixed in that regard. Maz is playing wingback because of Everton's aerial threat. It could be defending. It could be the pace. It could just be, again, the simplicity of moving Ahmad up so that we have the ability to make subs later on to change the game, bringing Mount on and putting Ahmad wide if we need to get more goals. Could it be Shaw left wing back? No. Shaw's not going to play wing back yet. No. He ain't going to play wing back unless we absolutely have to play wing back. Yeah. For sure. Hello, Jason. Thank you for being a member for 6 months. Welcome back and good to see you. Hope you're well. Yeah, I'm excited. I think this is a good team. I think we've also kind of come a long way. But look, you're totally correct. Truth be told, I hate our wingback choices when we don't include Ahmad. That's exactly right. And this is the point I make a lot of times when I say, we have one wingback in the team. That's it. And so whenever I say, hey, let's get Semenyo wingback, let's get Njai wingback, they're like, oh, he's not a wingback, None of them are wingbacks. There's no wingbacks in football. There's like 3 wingbacks in all of football. And then there's like fullbacks who are insane at attacking, like Hakimi and Nuno Mendes, right? We can't get those guys. They're unobtainable. The fullbacks that are that good at attacking are like a dying breed. It's one of the weakest positions in football right now. There's a couple of really good ones, and the rest are crap. Look at Kirkes. Has Ait Nouri kicked on at City? Has he been injured the whole time? There's just very, very few attacking fullbacks that exist anymore. Very, 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 very few. Look at Frimpong. He's garbage. And then there's DeMarco, who's 28 right now. So there's just so few. So what do you have to do? You have to pick wingers who can do that job. So I look at someone like Njai and I say, he's a wingback. He can be a wingback. And the ones that you're mentioning there, I worry about. Grimaldo. Look at Frimpong coming from that team. Crap. Look at it's like, I worry, man. I worry about him. The only 2 I think are actually that I would be certain of if we were to sign are Nuno Mendes and Hakimi, but that's like impossible. That's like impossible. You know what I'm saying? To obtain those guys. So we have to get wingers who are willing to do defensive work. That's it. You have to get wingers who are willing to do defensive work. That's what we want.
Let's all be grateful that
Amram
prefers Dorgu as LWB.
100%. I think Dorgu did a pretty good job against Spurs, to be fair. I think he actually did quite well. He shut down a lot of crosses. Everton do a lot of things similar to Spurs. They're not a counter-attacking side. They want to run through those wide areas and attack. Yeah. They want to do all of that. So, I'm glad to see Dorgu getting more starts. I think that's been important. For sure. I saw the Wolves Gomez more news. It says that there's optimism a deal can be completed before the turn of the year. Again, it's another Brazilian source. Nobody in England has commented on it.
Beware of Everton's bench can be decisive.
Beware of Everton's bench can be decisive. Yeah.
Dibbling McNeil.
Wait. Dallo. You got me there. I was reading it all. I love it. Yeah, but let's get Vinny Jr. He can be wingback for us. If he wants to join, wingback shifts. That'll handle the attitude problems. Wingback shifts. Dallo being on your list there is interesting. I have a speculation that the lack of minutes for Dorgu so far was to let him start the season later than others so he can play more during AFCON. Maybe. I also think that one of the things that happened with Dorgu is he started the year, had a little bit of a tough time, and he takes him out of the spotlight. He's done that with Lenny. He's done it with every young player in this side. When they're struggling a bit, takes them out of the spotlight and starts to put them back in. You know what I mean? And I think we're seeing the reintegration of Dorgu. And look, remember when we heard, look, they're keeping an eye on, I was saying we're keeping an eye on wingbacks, but they want to see if they're not convinced yet that they're even going to need one. Not convinced yet that they're going to make that decision to get one because, they still want to see what happens with guys like Dorgu. What happens with Harry Amos? They still want to assess it. They haven't given up on Dorgu at all. So I think it's a start of it's just protecting him, taking him out of the light a little bit, and then putting him back in forward, is really the goal here and the intention. And so I think he's managed that quite well. I think Ruben Amorim does deserve a lot of credit for that. It's something he doesn't get much credit for, but I think it's been very, very beneficial the way that he's done that, the way that he does manage these guys, and people freak out whenever we drop one of them, but then they tend to be better when he reintegrates them. Maybe Xerxes is the same, Maybe Mainu will end up being the same thing. Mainu will come in at some point and just catch fire, Maybe. Any chance we are getting 2 center mids in January? No, unfortunately. Maybe João Gomes is like the only one maybe that we could get. Maybe that we could get in January right now. Won't blame Gomez for wanting out in January, irrespective of the manager's point of view. Wolves, Gomez wanting to take a step if he can makes sense to me, especially when you look at opportunities. Some of this might be coming a little more from his side, hence we're seeing it in Brazil, but certainly, as I said, the interest is there. The discussions with his representatives have occurred. That's why I'm like, okay, are they overplaying it now, or is it actually progressing here? And the club are just very quiet. We can talk. Bruno says, yeah. So we'll see. We will see on that front if anybody else can kind of confirm this. You kind of gave up on Dorgu? I don't think we should give up on Dorgu. Dorgu is so young. I mean, you do have to realize that Patrick Dorgu, like, you guys remember Evra? I mean, Patrick Dorgu's 21. He turned 21 less than a month ago. The guy was born in 2004. You know how old that makes me feel? Patrick Dorgu is turned 21 less than a year ago. Less than a month ago, excuse me. He turned 21 less than a month ago. All right. He's a year and a half younger than Rasmus Højlund. He's so young. Give him time. He's got super physical traits. I saw enough in preseason. I know it's preseason. I've seen enough in preseason to know that he has the talent. He definitely has the physicality and the athleticism. Give it time. Especially in that position. And I get it. There's people who've given up on him, and I understand. They look at him and see a clunky player and this and that. I get it. He's not like Ahmad, obviously, in terms of the technical qualities. But I got to say something about Ahmad, because like sometimes we make comparisons to Ahmad and things. Like, I don't think people necessarily realize that, like, because we got Ahmad and it kind of went under the radar and then it took him a while to get through, we paid 20 plus 20 for Ahmad, a player who had played, I think, 60 professional minutes in his entire career. Okay? 60 professional minutes in his entire career. People don't realize, I think, that Ahmad, by scouts, by clubs, by people out there, the ones who watched him were like, holy shit, this guy has Messi level technical ability. Okay? I'm serious about that. Like, people, like, the closest, like, his, like, the view of his technical qualities. I'm not saying as good as Messi or will be good Messi. I'm saying the view of his ability technically at that age with 60 minutes was unbelievable. From, like, people were like, everybody who had ever seen him was completely blown away. He was special. And he still is. And he's still young. And he's still doing really, really well. And coming a long way. But, like, that's what we have to compare to. A player who is more, who was more, like, athletically there. I was there, James. I was like, who? We went from Sancho to him. And so I know, and it was one of the craziest things we actually got right that we have to credit Murtaugh, is that we had this backup plan about when we didn't get Sancho, was to go get Ahmad and Palestri and hope one of them would work out. And the view of Ahmad was so high, so through the roof, and we just had to manage it right. And it's crazy because you look at a talent like him, and we could have completely bungled it. We could have lost him. We could have not done the loans right. That was nearly a talent we didn't get to see. And you look at him and you look at his ability and you say, he is that fucking good. I mean, amazing player. But yeah, so yeah, we don't see that in comparison to Dorgu, understandably. Dorgu signed for different qualities, different reasons, different traits, but still just a different player. And it's hard to compare. It's hard to compare, you know what I mean? Players and say, like, will he make it or not? We don't know. But I still feel like I've seen enough. I think I've seen enough to say, not that he will, because talent is there, and, you know, people have to, talent is there, and it doesn't always come out. I mean, we've seen good players, and the talent doesn't always make it. I look at Carlos Baleba right now, and I say, he's obviously still a very, very talented player, Carlos Baleba. He certainly is. There's a reason we wanted him. There's a reason everybody still is looking at him. He is very talented. But talent doesn't always come out. Sometimes it fades. Sometimes it can be stunted. That's my worry with Baleba. But I look at Dorgu and I think it's too soon in that respect. He hasn't even been here a year. So I hope, I'm not saying it will work out. I'm just saying I hope it does. There's time. Give it time and let's see. Maybe today will be the start. Maybe not. Maybe in 2 hours from now we'll be depressed and pissed off and it'll be another one of those days. But a game we should win, and there's been too much positive feeling. So we'll see. But I hope so. I think he does have the physical levels to compete. That's the most important part. Ruben says, this is a good quote, so maybe we'll see some changes on this today. He says, I think we started with that approach against Liverpool because, to tell you the truth, we struggled to keep possession. Once we managed it, we felt more confident. He's talking about long balls. If you look at last year, one of our biggest problems was losing the ball in our own half. I think we were the worst team in the league for that, true. So we're just trying to analyze the team and improve every detail of our game. I also felt the last 2 matches we were kicking the ball long too often, and the opposition already knows we're going to do that. We need to stay true to our way of playing and push them again. It is always about trying different things against the opponent, but honestly, it is mainly about not losing possession near our box, because you can see we struggle when it comes to defending that area. So I think that's good quotes, because I think the point he's making there, you know, in his commentary is that we're not just supposed to go long. It's not like this instruction that suddenly all we're going to do is long ball. We've been doing it more than he wants to do it and more than he's intending to do it. But I think it starts with the idea of, like, he's saying, look, don't lose the ball in our own box. That's your priority. Don't do anything stupid in our own box. Don't give the ball away in a poor position. And so the players, until they're more confident, they're going to be launching it too quickly out of nervousness, concern for that instruction, you know, and that's where we need to see progression. And I hope we'll see progression today, is to keep control of it, to keep the ball a little bit more and not just panic every time that we're under pressure and worry we're going to lose it, but play through it. I was quoting Emram there. He gave some quotes before the game being asked about long ball and all of that. So it's supposed to be a varied approach. They're doing it to not lose the ball because they were losing the ball too much. That's really the main thing. Baleba and Anderson works for the second ball midfield winners in recycling. It sure does, but I don't think we necessarily... It works anyway. It doesn't just need the second balls or anything like that. But, yeah. Yep. It works anyways. If we want to play through teams as well, we need somebody who's good on the ball deep, carrying, dribbling, out of pressure. Baleba's still very good at that. And we need a bit more all action, and Anderson's the right guy there. I mean, Baleba and Anderson still works great. It's the same setup as Gomez and Anderson to me. But the thing with Baleba is that, Jason, as well, I still think the risk there, even with the talent that he has, is the price has to be right. We cannot be paying 90, 100 million for Baleba. It's just, there's just no way. Especially when we were saying, look, we think 70 million is good. Well, it's certainly not gone up. It's certainly not gone up. That's for sure. That's the main thing. It's certainly not gone up. That we can be certain of. So we have to get less, maybe. That's exactly one of the issues I have with Dalot, who switches off. That, and the other is that he's Gomez's height is a concern. Sure, I understand. I'm curious. I want to look at some green bars for something that I don't know. Yeah, aerials for João Gomez, not the highest for sure. Oof. Looking at that Wolves record, 5 losses in a row. Good Lord. Rough, man. That's rough. Do we see Gomez in January, Anderson and Baleba in summer? I mean, we could. It depends what we do with everybody. Depends what we do with everyone in there. I'm not saying... I'm not 100% on this Gomez thing yet. I'm because again, I know we have interest. I know we've had discussions with him, and I know that it's an opportunity that's there, but I don't believe it's been decided yet as to whether we push it forward. But we're seeing all these reports from Brazil, so I guess we'll see on that. I have a feeling that's on the basis of us having discussions with his representative, like I said, but I'm not sure it's as advanced at this point yet. We'll see. But it depends on Casemiro. It depends also on Bruno and Kabi, if one of them leaves. Certainly. But yeah, we're close. Game day, 45 minutes till kickoff now. As a reminder, last chance to get your picks in. Link is below to go and play the pick game, win some money over on Big Up, where I also will be live in 40. Well, I'll probably start it in about 40 minutes from now, 35 minutes from now. Quite a few entries already in there. I think there's like 20. But come get your picks in. Last chance before kickoff to get going. 43 minutes left there. Went up to 375. Come play. You can make between 1 and 6 picks. And yeah, again, not a betting product. You can't go gamble infinitely or anything like that. Just compete with the rest of us and see how you do. There's 21 people in there right now. And it's a competition, but more than one person can win. That's the nice part. And again, I believe you'll need to be in the UK or Spain to do so. All right. João Gomez is 2 centimeters shorter than Elliot Anderson. That's nothing. Yeah, I would agree. I wouldn't play Anderson at the 6 either, to be fair. I still think, well, I would right now but I would play Anderson in the 8 in the long run. Gomez is more similar to Casemiro than Ugarte than Casemiro. Yeah, but I don't know what that means anymore. I was saying it last time, like when we're making comparisons to Ugarte, what Ugarte are we talking about? Like the Ugarte who did really well at Sporting, yes, Gomez is similar to the way that Ugarte played. Good dribbler, safe on the ball, high energy, high intensity, good physicality, but still disciplined. Ugarte played as a 6 in the 2 there. Ugarte, are you comparing him to Ugarte now and saying, well, Ugarte isn't playing well and Gomez is the same as him and then he's crap? Because I've seen a lot of people try and do things like that. That's not I don't think that comparison is fair. You know, I think that like players, it depends what we're talking about here. You know, I think Gomez is similar to what maybe we would have hoped to have from Ugarte signing him that he hasn't yet shown. Maybe. You know, like Ruben made the comments over the weekend or something, right? That like Ugarte isn't in the best moment right now, and he hopes to get him back to around the level that he was at Sporting. So I could say, yeah, Gomez might be somebody who right now is doing the job and the role that you would have wanted, or would hope Ugarte can get back to. That might even be part of the question. Does Ugarte get more chances between now and January to see, can he get back up to the level that they would want him to be at, or do we replace or something like that? That might be part of it. In terms of that comparison, that's fair, but yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure as of this point in time. But look, I think he's much more flexible than people are giving credit for, perhaps. He's definitely an upgrade, and he's definitely a good player as well. He's a good player. By the way, guys, it's November 24th. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to shave this stupid mustache off. You have no idea. It's so irritating when you eat when you like do everything, when you drink water, and how much, oh my God, I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate it so much. I'm so sick of the mustache. I need to shave so bad. But it's November 24th, so now I gotta wait 6 more days. Was the especially in training where he needs to improve? Well, Ruben makes a lot of his decisions based on what happens in training. He makes a lot of his choices based on what happens in training. That's why I say, like, we don't always know when you're looking at the team, like, what is he seeing in training is a big part of how he chooses his lineups, who trains well, who doesn't, things like that. And I don't know what might be standing out there. Maybe it's something, what's really going wrong. I don't know. Maybe something else seems to be going wrong. Cunha has a head injury that we have to protect, essentially. Yeah, the hair goes in your mouth when you're eating. It is. Look, like, it's gross. It can go all the way in. It's disgusting. I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate it. I hate it so much. It's more worrying when it's something in training. Maybe. It just depends what in particular. Maybe it just means he's not getting what he's asking for. You know what I mean? It may not be an effort thing. It just maybe he's not getting what he's asking for. Yeah, it could be that. Gomez raises the floor rather than a ceiling. Yeah, well, I'm not sure I agree with the floor. I'm not sure. He definitely raises the floor, but I think he also does raise the ceiling because our ceiling is pretty capped because we don't have any legs in the middle. I actually think he's not just a backup. I think he would be potentially an upgrade at the moment in the starting 11. We've seen a lot of the weakness recently of having a midfield that can't run. We just have. So I think that there's a lot of games he would help us as well, because where we're losing a lot of the second balls and a lot of battles in the middle. So no, I think he helps on both fronts in that respect right now. Again, we've seen more and more just how much we're losing the middle and how much we can't control the game in the middle right now. That's the worry. That's the concern. Casemiro, Bruno is the best bet because they can play with the ball, because they can help us get it out wide, because we can get these attacks. But our inability to control games is the bad side of that. The bad side of that is the other side. That we don't have the legs, and I think that's hurting us quite a lot. Yeah, the lineup's out. Let me pull it up again. Here is our lineup for today's game. Kickoff in just over 30 minutes here. Maybe he selects the players based on who shows they can follow his tactics for the game. Perhaps. It's not waffle. Casemiro's been good, not nearly as good as people want to say. Like, again, Bruno and Casemiro has been our best midfield for a team that is presently in 8th and doesn't control games and has about 50% possession and concedes the 5th most chances in England. So when we say good, it's all relative. Good compared to what? Good relative to what kind of levels are we talking about here? That's the question. And that's where I have my doubts at the moment on it. Like, it's good, but we cannot control the games. We can't win our battles. We're losing our duels in the midfield massively right now. So that's all. But that's all we can do. We've gone with the trade-off. We said, look, we could play Ugarte and Menu. We might win a few more duels in the middle, but we've gone with on ball. It's a trade-off either way. What we're getting based on swapping people around and all of that. But this is why, the idea that, like, this is all good and it's going to be okay in the future, It's not. It's because it isn't working. It's working to a degree. It's working to where we are. Yeah, Amram's interview, he basically said he's going long because the midfield's losing possession in their own half. Exactly. They can't, we're losing too many duels. No, the lack of control is not due to the system. No. It's due to not being able to keep the ball. And that is not the system. That's the attributes of the players that we're seeing right now. Is Cunha on the bench? No, he's out with a head injury. It's a head injury. So what happened is he's taken a blow to the head. He probably isn't fully cleared from concussion protocols. That's probably the truth of it. He took a blow to the head. He probably feels fine, but he's not completely clear on concussion protocols. That's all, and they won't take a risk with that. That's just probably, that sounds like what's going on. So that's why he can't even be on the bench or anything like that. Like, they're not going to take any risks with that. So it sounds like that's all that's happening. We just have to accept it. We just have to deal with it. So he'll be fine. I'm sure he'll be back next week. But yeah, concussion protocols. That's what is believed to be the issue anyway. I'm fine with this. Like I said, the biggest thing, I'd be happy to see Mount and Ahmad out wide, but we can always make that as our first sub. But then we wouldn't have any attackers on the bench, so that's probably part of the main consideration there. We'd also definitely lack pace up front. But I definitely see Xerxes going to be playing in the midfield a lot more. Absolutely. And he'll be dropping in quite a bit. I mean, they all do, that's all rotational and things like that. But I'm very excited. This is a big game for Xerxes. He's got to show up. The biggest thing we need to see from Xerxes, because I know he has the qualities, the biggest thing we need to see from Xerxes tonight is intensity. We need to see him giving 100% all the times. All the time. What are your concerns from an Everton perspective? I don't really have any. Defending that we have to keep the ball. That's it. If we don't keep the ball and we let Everton attack us, they'll create chances. Everybody creates chances against us because we don't keep the ball enough at the right moments. We need to be able to keep the ball and get 2 or 3 goals out of it before we're settled in a bit more, especially without Maguire, without that defending in our own box. That's my main concern. Like, they have players who can hurt us. Grealish, Njai, good dribblers, good players who can get in and around the box and things like that. But, my biggest concern is that then how do we set that down? We got to attack them, push them back into their own box. They're not a team that counters. They're not a team that presses particularly high. We should be camped in their half, limiting their opportunities. The only way we can lose to Everton is if we let them have too much of the ball. That's it. They're not going to kill us on the break. They're not going to do that. We just can't give them the opportunity to have too many attacks against us where they can build up and attack, because they're decent at that and they can hurt us in that way. But they'll let us have the ball if we try and we don't be stupid about it. We need to control it. I'd rather we're in their box, fighting against defensive, trying to score goals, controlling the game, and limiting the opportunities that we give, than playing high flying up and down football today. That's what I hope to see. And with someone like Xerxes, I think that we have more possibility to do that. We've seen it before. That's my hopes today. So those are my concerns. Those are my beliefs. Those are my hopes. All right, guys, I'm going to end it here because I'm going to eat something and then I'm going to go live over on Big Up in about 15 minutes from now. So go to the link below. Join me on Big Up for the watch along. Again, last chance to 30 minutes left to get your picks in as well if you want to play that game. But I'll be over there live in about 15 minutes or so for the game. Hopefully it's a good one. And then we will be back here, of course, after the game for your thoughts, for, what happened, and to recap it, as well as, of course, get some fan views on there as well. All right, guys, thank you for hanging out today. See you soon. Otherwise, see you after. Enjoy the game wherever you are. And let's hope we can get a big, big win today. All right. Good luck, guys. See ya.